Hello, beautiful souls. So I was talking to one of my spiritual guides and gurus last night. And I talk about how much I've been channeling. Been channeling a ton all week. It's the eclipse weather. But for me, it's kind of like more like I am understanding the frequencies I'm tuning into more and more. That's how I see it. That's God Chakra. You know, and you don't have to just contact one thing, you could contact multiple things, and it matters what frequency domain you're surfing and who you are as a spirit and where you are as a spirit. And again, if you want to think of it as the Matrix, nothing's real here anyways, but we're still going to explain it under the guise and symbols that we can, because we can. And that's what translating symbology is, and that's what being a spiritual teacher is, all that it is. And so I'm going to translate from where I am. So they were talking and showing me about full-on conversation, Jim Carrey, where I was talking about I saw the good side in that person. And I was telling, all this and sharing it on my channel about what I'm going through. And then Spirit's like, okay, well, let's flip this on the other angle. Why is he allowed to speak out about the Illuminati? Because like with your mates, it's always, we put it right there in your face and make fun of you and then put you down and distract you so you don't know. So I'm learning all these things from their portal. Their record they ain't using because they're letting somebody else use it, because they did the same thing to me. And you can't keep sharing that energy without being part of their energy, and therefore that's their fault and their problem, like I told them from the beginning. They didn't believe me, they made fun of me, they thought I didn't know anything, and that people can't. But at the same time, they'll tell you that, but they wanted my Akashic record. They needed information from my Akashic record. So you see, these fourth dimensional things are right in your face, laughing and making fun of you, and Jim Carrey is like the Joker. He's considered the Joker, right? So he may be in a place in the Illuminati where he's allowed to reveal the secret, because now it's kind of right in your face. And the more it's in your face, the less there's going to be people who really notice it and go this way, and people who really just don't notice it at all and just think it's BS, right? So is he good or is he bad? And where is it my place to judge? So again, I am learning how things are put right in your face and allowed to be by certain people but not by others. And does that make them good or bad, or on this side or that side, and what story, where, when, how? So Sheila, if you just didn't judge anybody and didn't think, well, that's not what this is about. It was a friend and a guide pointing out the opposite side of a storyline so that I can see the yin-yang, the wholeness, and how to use that to help other people who want to know about it in the mind wars. So there's a lot of teachers that just want to keep people asleep and tell them there's no way you can be like me or reach your full potential in this life or be whatever it is, blah, 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 you're supposed to be, Jane, Yogi, fourth dimensional, Dogon, blah, 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 Enochian, fallen angels, just family, bloodlines, Sumerians arguing over who we are, the Nibiru. So take the story as far out as you want to take it. Nonetheless, if you keep your eyes on the sides, you don't have them on the center. You don't have them on who are you and where are you in all of this and what's your place in all of this. And to stay neutral is to see how both sides can be used and manipulated. And so where are you going to be and staying a pure energy that can't be harnessed in these playing fields of the game? So I love it when I get my feet knocked out from me, under me, and that now I don't just see myself as Sheila's wisdom or Sheila scrying or Sheila doing bibliomancy or Sheila channeling. I can see it as I'm just Sheila because I am that spirit that's here now. And when I'm channeling or talking with mentors and guides or whatever thought forms, they're internal, they're me, they're not separate. When a world tells you things are separate, it puts your mind on the outside storyline and what's yours and who are you and who and what are you supposed to serve right now in your highest good as you. Because if you're not accessing that highest good for yourself, your highest potential, you're not accessing the highest at all. And so I tell you, all these fourth dimensional shamans and people that serve the hive minds, they'll get right in their face and tell you this as a puppet, and then tell you they want to be saved but they don't, and then tell you they need help but they won't. And then there's just these people that have no clue. They're just like, we hive-minded, yippee yay, and they're gone. It's not them no more. There's something else thinking for them. And that's on many levels. Like, in where in the storylines are you going to keep your sovereignty? So I love that my guides do this, my lower aspect Mars, and those spirits connected to all of those archetypes in the zodiac, in the wheel, above, below, within, without. And we're not separate from that at all, which is what channeling and, the magnetism in your ley lines are about. You're going to tune into the frequency that you are. And I'm going to tune in the frequency of I am that I am, because I don't see it as out there. I see it as in here. And I use both extremes to get points across to teach people with symbology. And people will say you shouldn't do that. Now the reptilians don't want anyone to see that they're using them for food. Why would they? That makes no sense. So they don't want you to tell the story when you see the story. So like I said, like the fourth dimensional prison people, the matrix people, they're going to come in through whatever means they can and hook onto your lower energy and use your mind against you and against the world. Because that's what they're called to do. Whether they have to make a new religion of Pleiadians or it has to be the Baha'i faith, whichever one Trump and his daughter is trying to do and has been. And I spoke about this for years. Now Trump's written his own Bible and still Christians are like, Trump, 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 making their own antichrist story again in the religion, because when certain times come around, they have to do this because it's programmed into the logical part of that religion and therefore controls those energies under that, to not see above that. But what's coming is more than that, and that's all the things I channel, all of the upper and lower aspects. You have to see both and know that I very well could be wrong, and that Jim Carrey could be the double snake tongue. And I told you, like, I had these visions and dreams about lifting my tongue and there's a snake tongue underneath, so I had to see it, visualize it in my dream, pull it out and cut it off. And that was when I was dreaming of past people and what they did to me and what they put in me. And it's just archetypes so that when I wake up, I can bring this where to the world between the dream worlds, between the lower dimension and the upper dimension. All of the dualities here that make the whole of me in the story and my vlog that I am. And that's why I say I'm a vlog, not a teacher, because we're all vlogs, not teachers. On whatever level you want to get that at. I'm not your authority. And your authority needs to be the upper and lower dimensions online together in yourself and from your soul and from your heart. We're always told, do everything from your heart. Yeah, so keep your heart pure with all diligence, because out of it flows every single issue in your life, meaning your electrical field, your auric field. So it's not that you can't have opinion about negative things, know negative things, see negative things, feed into the negative things in order to switch up the polarity and pull the negative thing down like they do to you, and I was taught. I'm flipping all my teachings I was taught around by horrible people into a way I can use it in a higher aspect for myself, and all of us hack the matrix, which my ex told me he wanted in the beginning, but you know, he's wormed, he's hive mind, he's whatever. He's his Luciferian, he's the Dogon star, he's the Satan goat is the Dogon star too. It's the dog and the all of those aspects, lower aspect reptilian minds of the Pleiadians. Everything's got its yin and yang, and we got to think of it in that way and pull it together in ourselves. So it was great. I went out to go for a hike, and instead of that I was smacked down with all this information, like, you got to go back and reiterate and fix this, Sheila, because this eclipse energy, I can literally go back days ago and it's not the same story. Like, it's almost like, to me, a super dimensional jumping is going on, and everybody talked about this. Like, even the Pleiadian channelers were talking about this shift. Energetic shift is a physical shift, is a grid shift, is a matrix shift. They're not separate. And when you tie into that and you can feel it, then you can actually use it, because you can't use something you can't feel. And if you don't use it, you're not going to be able to utilize it. It's going to fall off like a limb. It's necrotic. And so should be your spiritual experience with everything, and how you tie into the upper and lower aspects, and how that switches up when human beings are in your energy field. And do you dumb yourself down for them? Yes, that's why I have a vlog, because they literally are pulling on your energy and your attention. And you have to learn to grow to a place where nobody does that for you. And that's a balance between, there is no storylines in human beings that aren't awake to me, and I have to tone them out while I'm searching into everything at the same time. And I was told that was evil and wrong, and I couldn't do it, and blah, no place, and I don't care, and Illuminati, and reptilians, and Dogons, and left, right, left, Christian, who you figure it out. So who's the clown? And who's the guy in white? And is there a guy in white that's a clown, and there's a guy in black that's a clown? Yes. 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 And you have to find the way in between all of those, and that's finding your pole star, your center. The center of the story, the way out of the matrix, is for you to learn from everything, but not to allow those things to become reality. But how can you harness them to grow to your highest self? Grow to, meaning stay in communication with your energetic field, so neither one of those stories are taking too much from your field. And that's why I say I go in and out of these pole places when I'm tanked, because I will use them and their storyline and their BS. If I can stay aware in that, they don't take me. I pull back, and I get them, and I get the power, and I upgrade my matrix and those who stay in. And if they don't like it, they're going to have to leave, because I can't back down anymore, because I am this. And that was the Akashic thing they said they wanted to pull from my record, and they did it in evil ways. So I don't see them as someone pulling for my record. They're pulling for their reptilian mind thing, whatever. Because those things are weaker, and they actually need us humans, who are actually, when we're fully online, we're the pole star, we're the ascension point, we're the rainbow bridge, we're all of those things that we get made fun of for being, because we really don't know we are that. And we use these gods and goddess names and these demigods and earth, air, fire, water, elemental story things. And we have to realize from our center, how do we use all these energies, as I've said it before, best to serve ourselves in the storyline. And that's how you walk through the middle of both sides, and you stay where your soul's supposed to be in this moment at this time, your Om, until you're that all the time, Om. And gurus and people and all that, they'll teach you so much, but they don't want you to see the bigger picture, or they'll say it's not their place to see the picture, and you can't tell them, Sheila, and don't tell me what the fuck I can and can't say no more. That's just, I don't care. So Sheila's not the guru with a guru license, and nobody following around with bells, whistles, and trumpets and protecting her, paying for her room and board, and doing all this so she can channel. no, that's not how it works right now. And so that's a blessing, because nobody owns me. I own myself. Therefore, I get to see how high I can go within my aspect and channel of God in this earth, and how people are going to use it while it's here until it's no longer here. And it's my place to maintain wherever I need to be in both storylines in that story, neither being owned by one side or the other. And with the white light, it's easier for me to not be owned by that, because I've so been scathed by it. And so I can see both the Nordics, because of that, thankfully, I can see both the Nordic side of the story and the reptilian Pleiadian side of the story, and how it plays through in our minds right now, and how we, as this God aspect and bandwidth, are channeling that larger story for the stars, and as I used to say, above the stars and beyond. If you know all the stories, then you can see how they're all just two polarities speaking a yin-yang war here, and then you can decide how much of your energy you're going to give to that war here, and how much you're going to point out the real source of the war to people, so that people can ascend through their self and their pole star and their body, all their elementals, all their angelic angles of thought form, Thoth, part of the angelic thought forms, whatever you call Mercury, whatever you call those aspects that you're working within that tree, that Kabbalistic tree. But you're not, you're standing here as the pole, the Ashira pole, the tree in this space you're holding between both worlds, energetic wise. When your Merkava is correct, spinning right, left, and then, the within, the out, the up, the down, that makes the star. So however much you can hold the tension in that and not be part of either one of the storylines is how frequently and how much you can make your bandwidth grow. And the alchemical, angelic, non-angelic, upper lower dimensions of angels, thought forms, star seed dimension, angles of thought, astrology, planetary divination, how far are you going to go above those storylines and be able to see? To me, that's an internal alchemy. That's finding one's pole, one's center, one's God, one's channels for one's own highest good, not a reptilian or other agenda. Good, yours, because it's your job to carry ever on. So, let the world feed off of you as much as you can see within your realm. I can't do it, because I'm this elastic band, this bubble, this plasma, this yin-yang that's just going to back to center and cut off all the storylines, and then say, okay, so what's the best way around this? How can my plasma flow through these two and come back down and teach everybody? Only if I realize I am both of those things. You can't play both sides of the Illuminati unless you're both sides of the Illuminati, or both sides of the Masons unless you're both sides, or Christian or Catholic, or Satanism and Catholicism, Christianity, and all these bubbles within the bubbles of Pandora's box. And that was channeled for me this week, that I would be opening sort of a Pandora's box in me, and that the Isis, the mother goddess, would blow fresh wind in order for you to win. And how, when people channel this in their channels, or with their ability with their cards and how much they're online in their center, are they those goddesses just out there for them? Just their ancestors? Or are they actually living, healing, speaking, growing, expounding as everything that they are? So you have ancestors on both sides of the stories that play the most important roles in the storylines. And so therefore I can channel all of those as external ancestral. No, it's in me. My ancestors are in me. Those who rarely channel are shamanic. No, they don't put their ancestors aside for some dumb reptilian brain They own that. Both sides, lower and upper dimension. They are that. Those who have ascended, those who have not. And it's your job ascending to pull the shitty side of your family shamanically, whatever way, light worker, guide, channel you want to speak, to the highest position it possibly can be, because it's just energy, and that determines your ability to create here, and your ability to come and fulfill your purpose, which is your soul contract, which is just your energetic being fully online, your Merkava, your angel, your angelic thought form. So this is Masonic, it's Kabbalistic, it's light worker, it's starseed, it's shamanic, it is religious, it is non-religious, because it's energy, it's not a religion. Those things are archetypes. Someone wants to tell you it's a religion, you're going to get trapped into a religious mindset, and then you're going to follow a religion or a certain plan. And which side of the story are you feeding? And how do you know energetically? Only by where your energy is going can you cut off all that energy, can you cut off all the pendulums, the thought forms, the angels, and be all those in your oneness. So all your chakra, all your eyes in your Merkava, your angelic thought form, your plasma are working and see. Oh, we see. So a long time ago, I made egregore sigils that have characteristics, like if you think of a voodoo doll or a stuffed animal. Excuse me, I got a buggy in here looking for a way out. That way, buddy. Don't bite me, I see it. He's got the sting. Holy tamales. What I thought was a sting was actually something on the other end mating with him. Wow, very interesting. That was weird. If that isn't parasitic right there, you know? So, wow, I totally lost my thought. But anyways, see, deep in channeling, when you get disturbed, then you've got to find your way back to your center again. So being all that you are, having all your chakra online, is being an angel. So now I'm teaching from the angel thought form. I'm an earth angel. Why? Because I'm here in an earthen vessel with all my chakra lit, telling you what it feels like and looks like to have all your chakra lit. So you're that. But I'm not going to be that and be destructive and take people's life force and harm and be the agenda for the lower aspect reptilian that was attached to the tiny thing attached to the rear end of that bug. You know? Like I used to say to my children when I was waking, I wrote this story for them about sheep following sheep ass over the hill. And that's what people do, sheeple do. It's why we're called sheeple. We just follow the butt in front of us, or the butt and if or but in front of us, or the idea in front of us. And we're led, and we're genetically programmed to be led. Excuse me. You see, my body doesn't want me to say what isn't true. So I am leading only in that I see as far as the next sheep ass in front of me. So I'm not putting you above myself energetically to drain you, but saying you be that, you be your pole star, you be the furthest ahead in the pack that you can see. And I'm going to be that, and no one's going to tell me that I'm the lower aspect, because if I believe that, then I won't have all my eyes, my energetic points turned outwards so that the Merkava can gather in all these informations. Now, the Vedic and the gurus and the people in that religious system use all this stuff, but they use it as you're not that. That is outside of you until you learn you're that, and then don't tell anyone behind you, because you can't do that. They're not going to get it, and we're not going to allow that. Or you can't be in our religion, or you can't be in our Masonic group, or you can't be with our gurus, or you can't be part of Sadhguru's camp. Yeah, I can't. And this is the thing, so that these different groups use your energy by you turning into the thought form and turning your energy out from yourself. So really, you are making yourself food for something. They aid you to do that by keeping the truth from you, and have your mind always this way, that way, till you give in to one side or the other. Your lower 4D aspect, or this hyper spiritual that isn't really truth or really evolved, because it ain't looking at its lower aspect and seeing from both sides. So I'm being told I'm not allowed to share this work here, and that if I do, it's going to be a danger for me and for you guys, so just let the sheeple people sleep. And I used to believe that. I wrote a poem about it, like letting my beloved sleep. And to me that was more letting go of the people beneath me while I rose, because I couldn't agree with their religions and beliefs and thought forms anymore, because they were destructive, and I was finding my way out. And to find your way out, you got to meet that fourth dimension head on. It's only energy, and you've got to work through it. And I'm sharing energy here right now. Like, I Reiki, not only naturally, but I've got my certificates in it. Even though the last 2 people or 3 that I've worked with refused to give me certificates, because my way of working was different than theirs or above theirs, and I hadn't taken their class or taken on their energetic thought forms. But yes, I did have to take them on and work through them and get rid of them from myself, because there were all lies mixed in with it, all lower aspect, all hooks that they were literally physically hooking me with their energetic thought forms, because they're not in control of them, and they've got to do that. Just like when I said people use your lower 3 chakra when you're a child and cause trauma and block those, feed off of you, because you're forced to think up in here, and they've got the energetic thought form here, they're taking over in these chakra, and through blocking the lower 3 chakra. Whether or not they're conscious they're doing that of you is how conscious they are. That's why we call them reptilians, and their disease and how they spread it, because they don't know that they're that. But mine told me they were all that, and a fallen angel. So and a fallen aspect on purpose, consciously. So to me, nothing's conscious unless it sees the both sides of the story all the way out and then brings it back into its auric field. What am I doing? That's where I was when I lost my place last time. Who are you? How much you know that you are you and can have a clear channel in Merkava, no yin yang, is how evolved you're going to be as an energetic being here, and how much you're going to heal and heal others. Because you can't until you heal the wounds you were caused here to heal, like the wounded healer, the wounded parent, the wounded teacher, the wounded child, the wounded channeler, the wounded goddess, the wounded leader. All of those things. Until you meet that on whatever your soul contract is here to meet it, you don't get to go on. And you've got to go, do your chart, boom, 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 all over the place. Energetically, that's how it is. I literally met a dragon that told me energetically, you got to stop working with your chakra this way, Sheila, because they go like this. Later on, I found that was my logical energy imprint. And that's really how I've allowed myself to evolve, by just feeling it, by just going through it, by just being me at whatever point I was in that time, being me. And that's how I learned, through energy. And so now I am that energy. I am energy, and I allow myself to feel things, but I don't allow it to blow out my circuits, like being neurodivergent and autistic and empathic or neuroempathic, same thing. I have to bring everything out into all these energies, belief systems, and stars, and go beyond all that. Listen, hear, think, pull in all the energy via my angelic thought form, this, living, breathing, now, here, as whatever highest aspect it is, and share that, because that's what I'm called to do, and I will not be allowed to move on until I live through that. So someone else wanted that aspect of my Akashic record, my soul, your Akashic record, in order for them to take that highest aspect and leech in and literally take the soul. And that's what the Satanists and Luciferians and dark 4D vampiric things, parasites, need to do for that storyline in a higher dimension. They don't own themselves. They think they do. They don't. It's not true. So how as far up as you can look, as I've said in the other videos I took down and I got to put back up, is how far up you can see. Oh, this computer, having this laptop on my lap, is making me literally feel like I got a ball of snakes in my belly. So you do get You can tell when a computer or a person or whatever is pulling on your energy by that. You'll feel those things, and that's what people tell you being empathic or sensitive or a channeler or whatever it is. But it's not any of those things that you see in form, it's energy. And until you can bring it all down to energy, you're always going to be like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the guru, follow me, I'm the star, I can read for the stars, I can be the stars, I can channel all the stars, and I can channel to you the war the stars are literally having through us right now. The Dogon are being born in us, the kings, the queens, the left, the right, the princes of the earth, all the storylines. Why? Because in this Kali age, you either upgrade the storyline and ascend, or you stay here and repeat a whole new complete devastation of the earth cycle, because those Elohim want to do that. Those Nordics want to do that. And they do that. Destroy this earth, just come back. Destroy the earth, come back. Bring it back. And then it comes to a place where it can't be brought back, and then the whole system, the chakra system energetically, which you are holding space for, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, you're the energetic pole here for. When all of that energy is wrapped up in a fire, in a blanket of fire, in its net, its netter, its grid, and then that energy disperses and goes off to another dimension, different thought form, energy, whatever. So we that channel for that are here showing that aspect, because there are people here on both sides of the stories, the ones infected, the ones who are Luciferian, left-hand path, don't know what they're doing, and the right-hand people used for these two wars. Do you want to be used for the war, and on what level? And what level do you want to escape it? And the only way you're going to figure that out is through going out through these aspects and pulling in all the symbols of them again and again and again, which is like a life-death. And then you start doing it on purpose so you can learn from it. And then it's going to steal life force from you. And so you're going to have to learn to beat it. And then in order to do that, you're going to have to come in, digest the energy, and come in and go out and channel so that everybody here can hear from your channel. So I'm not saying I can't say that I have ever channeled for any specific star system, because I'm telling you there's a story above that. And do you want them to have control of it, or do you want you to have control of it? However far you can take that story within yourself is up to you, by how much you allow yourself to see and utilize the story to sharpen your own iron to get above it. So what does it matter if people do know all this information or not? That's up for you to decide, not for me. I'm simply sharing it. People need their gods. They need the thought forms. Why? Because they were literally genetically programmed to be like this. By those gods, Sumerian, Dogon, Pleiadian, Reptilian, Nordic, whatever you want to think that storyline is, Nibiru, Akkadian, Sumerian, Christian, Satan, on whatever level you want to believe that storyline is the space you're going to be able to hold for it and control it and get your mind above it. So, I guess maybe I'm a wormhole to a different dimension altogether. Sorry, because I don't agree with any of the storylines, and neither will I give up my energy to them. Why? So I can tell you this little matrix story my novel I'm writing, that ain't going to get on Hollywood probably, because, well, I'm just me. And that's great. That's kept me safe. It's kept my message safe. It's kept me safe from all the predators of all the storylines. So I expect it to keep me safe and not a predator in any of the storylines ever. Whether or not this human body ages or grows or loses power or gains power, or the more I stay outside the pendulums, the quicker I heal and the better I am that I am. So if somebody says, I'm God, that's fine. They can do that. Or they can say, I'm claiming myself that I'm God, whatever. They can do that. I'm just being me. I'm just being my highest good that I can see, my halo, my God chakra for the highest of all. Not the half-broken halo. No, my halo ain't broken. It's whole. And that depends on my energy, this portal, this star, this pole star, this Ashira pole, this goddess on earth, how whole I can be in me to bring through the storyline. Does that archetypically make sense? My archetype doesn't make sense to people often because they're following a storyline. So if you pull away their storylines, they're like, wow, no, whatever, I need my God. Because you were programmed energetically to believe that via your DNA. By who? By the Dogon, by the Pleiadian, by the Arcturian, by the Reptilian, by the Nordics. That's their story. How far above that story do you want to rise? Let yourself be unfounded and cut yourself off from all the pendulum and be the toofty or the it foot. Be the netter. Be the highest vibration you can be. And for me, that's seeing above all the storylines and saying, what's best for the energy here. I'm not working for the earth, though I work with all these things. And I channel through all these things. I'm doing it for the highest energy of all. How can you and all of you here be the highest energetic thought form of yourself, of all of this BS storyline, and not give your energy to either one of those gods, to be the Om, to be the energy, to be the you, ever on, gold, highest self. Long video, I know. But when it comes through this way, I've got to let it come through this way because I'm not scared of putting my story out by these reptilian minds anymore because they're beneath me. And if they don't want to be healed, I know it's only because something is using them. Literally. And so if I have to shatter some third eyes in human beings because those human beings are too shattered by the worm that's in them, good. Then hopefully I learn how to heal those things too by people. Hopefully I can learn to energetically help people with that. And for now, that's through me as a mouthpiece, as my highest good. Whatever I bring. Excuse me, I got the hiccups and burps. Whatever I bring that thought form to, it's just this, I literally moved the laptop up and the energy is now up in this triangle. I'm so sorry. I used to just put my wheel down and do this. That's why. I'd forgotten. You forget. So, yeah, I don't want to feel that energy in my lap right now, or in my gut, or in disturbing my belly. So that's because it's too close in my energetic system. The safest way for me to do that would be like stand 6 feet from the computer and the energy and do it that way. I'm not hypersensitive. I just feel when something's taking my energy, and I don't like how I'm interacting with it. But I am, because I'm very stuck in this, and so I have to learn to control that, not to let it control me. So when everybody's like this, that, and the other about energy and don't do that and you must do this and you can't, I gotta focus on doing what's best for me, because when I do that, I'm more aware and I do the right things for myself to the best of my ability. That's why you have diets, not because this diet's right or that person says that diet's right, but your body literally should impulse towards what you should and shouldn't eat until you understand how you're screwing up your own body with what you have with food. Shouldn't be someone telling you you can or can't, because someone with really high energy can eat the Twinkies and shit, and I can't eat that because I'll feel the drain right away. It'll make me sensitive and sick. So, it's sad, but people that tend to have the highest physical energy, are the most sought after things. And I was spiritually, so I get that, even if I was never so much physically. So that's where I got this channel for now. And I am going to go back and put those other things up. I am not going to let anybody get in the way of my poetry or my channels, even in the past when I was still growing out of this. So you can see it is love, light, and darkness. It is moving toward the light, so you have to get out of the degrees of darkness, or you're never gonna see yourself or anything right. So thank you.